In this video, we will look at 50 signs of canine behavior that should not be ignored, as they can express feelings of some happiness and excitement, fear and anxiety, stress and discomfort, basic needs, physical pain or discomfort, search for attention, alert and protection, less obvious behaviors. Have you ever wondered what is going on in your dog's head when he looks at you in a different way? He may be trying to tell you something. Want to understand your little friend better? So without further ado, let's get to the point. Signs of happiness and excitement. 1. The tail wagging wide. A wide tail wagging motion that moves the dog's entire hips generally indicates happiness, relaxation, and a friendly disposition. It is a sign that the dog is feeling comfortable and content. Context: when seeing the owner, during light play, when receiving affection. Accompanying signs: relaxed body, canine smile, happy barking. 2. Tail wagging, height. The height of the tail also matters. A tail at normal body height, wagging, usually indicates a neutral or happy state. A higher tail, wagging vigorously, may indicate excitement or alertness. Context: when anticipating something exciting, walk, food, when interacting with other dogs in a friendly way. Accompanying signs: bright eyes, body leaning forward. 3. Canine smile. Relaxed and slightly open lips, with the tongue possibly protruding slightly, resemble a human smile. It is a sign of relaxation, contentment, and lack of threat. Context: in moments of rest, when receiving affection from people you know. Accompanying signs: relaxed body, calm breathing, soft eyes. 4. Bouncing, light, quick movements as if the dog were jumping gently indicate joy and energy. It is common in puppies and young dogs, but can occur at any age. Context: during play, when reuniting with the owner after a short period of separation. Accompanying signals: tail wagging, happy barking, invitations to play. 5. Somersaulting. Rolling on the floor showing the belly can be a sign of playfulness, friendly submission, or simply pleasure in scratching. Context: during play with people or other dogs in moments of relaxation. Accompanying signals: relaxed body, invitations to play, wagging tail. 6. Bringing toys. Presenting a toy to the owner can be an invitation to play, throw, fetch, a way to share something the dog enjoys, or even herding behavior in some breeds. Context: in moments of interaction with the owner, especially if the dog has been trained to fetch. Accompanying signs: staring at the toy and the owner, wagging the tail. 7. Happy barks. These are generally high-pitched, short and repetitive barks emitted in an excited tone. They differ from alert or fear barks. Context: during play, when anticipating something pleasurable, walk, food. Accompanying signs: jumping, tail wagging, animated body. Signs of fear and anxiety. Page 8. Ears back. The ears are pulled back and may lie flat against the head. This protects the ears and is a sign of submission, fear, or apprehension about something in the environment. Context: in unfamiliar situations, when interacting with strangers or dominant animals, during punishments. Accompanying signs: tail between legs, body curled up, avoiding eye contact. 9. Flattened ears. Similar to laid-back ears, but more intensely pressed against the head, indicates greater fear or anxiety than just slightly laid-back ears. Context: in situations of extreme fear, during loud noises, in unknown and threatening environments. Accompanying signs: trembling, panting, hiding. 10. Tail between the legs. The tail is lowered and hidden between the hind legs. The deeper it is hidden, the greater the fear or insecurity of the dog. Context: when being reprimanded in strange environments, near animals or people who intimidate you. Accompanying signs: body curled up, ears back, avoiding eye contact. 11. Shivering. Involuntary muscle contractions can indicate cold, but also fear, anxiety, or extreme excitement. It is important to note the context. Context. In cold environments, during situations of intense fear, in moments of great excitement, less common. Accompanying signs, depending on the cause: hair standing on end, fear; rapid breathing, fear, excitement. 12. Panting for no apparent reason. Rapid, shallow breathing with the mouth open and tongue sticking out is normal after exercise or in hot environments. If it occurs at rest and in a comfortable room temperature, it could indicate stress, anxiety, or even health problems. Context. Intense situations, during car trips, in noisy environments. Accompanying signs: pacing, licking lips, showing the whites of the eyes. 13. Hiding. Seeking refuge in secluded places, such as under furniture or behind the owner, is an attempt to feel safe and avoid the source of fear. Context. During thunderstorms, fireworks, visits from strangers after being scolded. Accompanying signs: body curled up, ears back, trembling. 14. Escape attempt. An active attempt to get away from the fearful situation or object may include pulling on the leash, trying to escape from an enclosure, or running away. Context. In unfamiliar environments, when approaching something feared, veterinarian, other aggressive animals. Accompanying signs: tense body, vocalizations of fear, yelps, cries. 15. Show the white part of the eyes, whale eye. The dog looks away, exposing an unusual amount of the sclera, the white part of the eyes. It indicates discomfort, anxiety, apprehension, or even a warning that it may bite if the situation persists. Context. When approached in an invasive way, when having something you don't want taken away, in conflict situations. Accompanying signs: tense body, pursed lips, low growl. 16. Excessive lip licking. Licking your lips repeatedly when there is no food around is a common sign of stress, anxiety, or internal conflict. It is a way of soothing yourself. Context. Intense situations, when being reprimanded, when interacting with strangers or other animals in an uncomfortable way. Accompanying signs: yawning, turning head away, avoiding eye contact. 17. Excessive nose licking. Similar to lip licking, frequent nose licking for no apparent reason can indicate stress or anxiety. Context. Similar to lip licking. Accompanying signs: similar to licking of the lips. 18. Excessive yawning. Yawning is normal when your dog is tired, but frequent yawning in situations that do not indicate sleep can be a sign of stress or anxiety. Context. Intense situations, during training, when confronted. Accompanying signals: licking lips, turning head away, avoiding eye contact. Signs of stress and discomfort. 19. Pacing. A repetitive, incessant movement without a clear goal may indicate that the dog is feeling trapped, anxious, frustrated, or uncomfortable. Context. In confined environments, when separated from the owner, in situations of high excitement or stress. Accompanying signs: panting, repetitive vocalizations, barking, whining. 20. Growling. A guttural vocalization that serves as a clear warning that the dog is uncomfortable, feels threatened, or does not want to be disturbed. It is important to respect the growling and identify the cause. Context. When approached while eating, sleeping, in pain, or with something you consider yours. Accompanying signs: showing teeth, bristling hair, tense body. 21. Showing teeth. A more explicit threat than growling, exposing the canine teeth, indicates that the dog feels cornered and may bite if the threat persists. Context. In situations of direct confrontation, when feeling extremely threatened. Accompanying signs: growling, tense body, staring. 22. Hair standing on end on the back, piloerection. The hairs along the spine stand up. This can be a sign of fear, aggression, intense excitement, or even cold. Context is key. Context: when encountering a stranger or another animal that it considers a threat in moments of great excitement during play. Accompanying signals: growling, showing teeth, aggression, fear, tense body, aggression, fear, wagging tail, excitement. 23. Avoiding eye contact. Looking away can be a sign of submission, discomfort, an attempt to diffuse a tense situation, or simply a lack of interest. Context: when being reprimanded, when interacting with a dominant dog in uncomfortable situations. Accompanying signs: head turning, lips licking, body curled up. 24. Raising a paw. In some situations, raising a paw can indicate hesitation, uncertainty, or a signal to stop in an interaction. It can also be a sign of localized pain in that paw. Context: in new or confusing situations when approached hesitantly, if there is an injury to the paw. Accompanying signs: hesitant look, tense body, uncertainty, licking paw, pain. Signs of basic needs. 25. Barking at the door. Usually a bark directed at the door, accompanied by other signals such as looking at the door, scratching at it, or staying near it, indicating the need to go out to urinate, defecate, or explore. Context: when the dog needs to do his business, when he wants to go to the garden. Accompanying signs: restlessness near the door, whining. 26. Pushing the empty bowl with the nose, a clear way to communicate the need for food. The dog may also look at the owner and the bowl alternately. Context: at mealtime, when the bowl is empty. Accompanying signs: whining, staring at food, if available. 27. Drinking water excessively. A sudden increase in water intake can indicate thirst, especially on hot days or after exercise. However, it can also be a sign of underlying health problems, diabetes, kidney problems, so it is important to note if this is a new and persistent behavior. Context: after exercise on hot days, it can be a warning sign of health problems if it is constant. Accompanying signs: urinating more frequently. 28. Restlessness at night. Restlessness, difficulty finding a comfortable position, getting up, and lying down several times may indicate the need to urinate or defecate, physical discomfort, pain, heat, or anxiety. Context may indicate a need to leave, health problems, discomfort in the resting place. Accompanying signs: nocturnal vocalizations, frequent trips to the door. Signs of pain or physical discomfort. 29. Limping. A limp or difficulty putting weight on one of the paws is an obvious sign of pain or injury in that area. Context: after trauma, during or after exercise, it may indicate joint problems. Accompanying signs: excessive licking of the affected area, reluctance to move. 30. Excessive licking of a specific area, pain. The dog may repeatedly lick an area of the body that is painful or causing discomfort in an attempt to relieve the pain. Context: in injured areas with inflammation or chronic pain. Accompanying signs: limping, if a paw, vocalizations of pain when touched. 31. Whining, pain. Soft, plaintive vocalizations may indicate mild to moderate pain. Context: when moving, when being touched in the painful area. Accompanying signs: licking of the affected area, protective posture. 32. Cries, pain. Vocalizations more intense and high-pitched than whimpers, indicating stronger pain. Context: in situations of acute or intense pain. Accompanying signs: immobility, rapid breathing. 33. reluctance to move. A lack of desire to do activities that were previously enjoyable, such as walking, playing, or climbing stairs, may indicate pain or stiffness. Context: when invited to physical activities. Accompanying signs: slowness of movement, difficulty in getting up or lying down. 34. Reluctance to jump. Avoiding jumping on furniture or to reach something can be a sign of joint pain or weakness. Context: when trying to climb up or down from higher places. Accompanying signs: hesitation, failed attempts to jump. 35. Change in sleeping habits. Sleeping more than usual or having difficulty finding a comfortable sleeping position may indicate chronic pain or discomfort. Context: observe the frequency and quality of sleep. Accompanying signs: nocturnal agitation, vocalizations during sleep. 36. Loss of appetite. Refusal to eat is an important sign that can indicate a number of health problems, including pain, nausea, or other discomforts. Context: at meal times, during daily meals. Accompanying signs: lethargy, other signs of illness. Search for attention. 37. Pawing. Touching the owner with a paw can be a way of getting attention to play, asking for affection or food. Context: in moments of interaction with the owner. Accompanying signs: staring at owner, soft vocalizations. 38. Barking for attention, usually a higher-pitched repetitive bark used to request interaction or something the dog wants. Context: when the owner is busy or not paying attention. Accompanying signs: looking at owner, bringing toys. 39. Constantly bringing objects, attention. Presenting toys or other objects repeatedly can be a way to initiate play or simply ensure the owner's attention. Context: during moments of owner inactivity. Accompanying signs: staring at the object and the owner. 40. Leaning against you. Seeking physical contact, pressing the body against the owner can be a way of asking for affection, security, or simply closeness. Context: in moments of relaxation, when the dog feels insecure. Accompanying signs: soft gaze, relaxed body. 41. Following the owner around the house. Following the owner closely, changing rooms as the owner moves, can be a way of seeking attention or simply showing attachment. In some cases, it can indicate separation anxiety, especially if accompanied by other signs of stress as the owner prepares to leave. Context: during the owner's daily activities at home, moments before the owner leaves. Accompanying signs: whining, agitation, when owner picks up keys or gets dressed to go out. Warning and protection signs. 42. Barking at strangers, a generally deeper and more persistent bark, directed at unknown people who approach the dog's or owner's territory. Context: when seeing strangers on the street, doorbell ringing, unknown people entering the house. Accompanying signs: rigid posture, bristling hair, staring at stranger. 43. Barking at unusual sounds, barking in response to strange or sudden noises, such as sirens, thunder, or other unusual noises in the environment. Context: when hearing unexpected sounds. Accompanying signs: ears alert, body tense, gaze directed toward the source of the sound. 44. Rigid posture. The body is tense, with muscles contracted, the head and neck erect, and the weight distributed evenly on the paws. Indicates that the dog is alert and ready to act, either to defend itself or to protect. Context: when encountering a potential threat, when protecting the owner or its territory. Accompanying signs: staring, low growling, hair standing on end. 45. Growl, threat, protection. A low, threatening growl used to warn of a perceived threat and indicate that the dog may attack if the threat does not move away. Context: when feeling cornered, when protecting the owner or their resources, food, toys. Accompanying signs: showing teeth, pursed lips, tense body. 46. Putting yourself between. Putting your body between the owner and another person or animal that the dog perceives as a threat. This is protective behavior. Context: when sensing that the owner is uncomfortable or in danger. Accompanying signals: alert posture, gaze fixed on the target of protection, low growl. Less obvious behaviors. 47. Turning the head to the side. This could indicate that your dog is trying to understand something you said or a sound he heard, adjusting the position of his ears to better locate the source. It could also be a subtle sign of discomfort or an attempt to diffuse a tense situation. Context: when hearing unknown commands in situations of mild conflict. Accompanying signs: curious gaze, slightly bent body, appeasement. 48. Freeze in motion. Stopping suddenly and remaining still, paying attention to something in the environment. May indicate uncertainty, fear, or an intense focus on something that has caught your attention, prey, another animal. Context: when detecting something unusual, when feeling insecure. Accompanying signs: fixed gaze, tense body. 49. Intensely sniffing a specific spot. Smell is a dog's primary sense. Intensely sniffing a spot can indicate that your dog has detected something interesting, food, another animal, a strange smell, or dangerous, and is trying to get more information. Context: during walks, when exploring a new environment. Accompanying signs: snout on the ground, rapid, shallow breathing. 50. Tickling with the nose. Rubbing the nose against people, other animals or objects can be a way of marking territory with your scent, seeking comfort, or simply interacting in a friendly way. Context: when greeting people or other familiar dogs, when seeking affection. Accompanying signs: relaxed body, wagging tail. Remember, any sudden or persistent change in your friend's behavior should be a cause for concern and, if necessary, a consultation with your trusted veterinarian. If this video helped you understand your furry companion better, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It really helps us reach more people who love their dogs as much as we do. What sign surprised you the most in this video? Share it in the comments. We want to hear your reactions and what you learned about your partner. Thanks for watching the video, and see you next time.